I'm about to show you the best tweaks you should be making inside of Windows to increase your FPS massively. On your desktop, you want to press the Windows key plus R, then inside here, paste in System Properties Performance.exe like so, then press OK. Underneath Visual Effects, you firstly want to click Adjust for Best Performance, and you'll notice that it unchecks all these boxes, but we don't want that. Instead, we want to tick Animations in the taskbar, Save Taskbar Thumbnail Previews, Show Thumbnails instead of icons, show Windows content while dragging, and finally smooth edges of screen fonts. Don't forget to click apply and then OK. Step 2, back on your desktop, you want to go ahead and right click on it, then click on the personalize button right here in the background section. Underneath where it says personalize your background, you want to have it on either picture or even better a solid color. What you don't want to use is slideshow or Windows Spotlight, as these can cause slight lag spikes. Then scrolling down from the background section, you want to click on taskbar. Then underneath the taskbar items, I like to go ahead and hide my search bar, as I prefer that, but I also think it's important to uncheck task view, widgets and chat if you aren't using any of these. Just underneath that too, we've got the system tray icons, and I recommend turning off these if you don't use any of them. And thirdly, at the bottom, we've got device usage. Inside of here, I recommend turning off all of these. Step 3, you want to go into your settings. Underneath install apps, inside here, you want to go through all the apps. So for example, if you've got Microsoft Teams and you do not use it, like I myself don't, you want to click on these 3 dots and simply uninstall it. And you can do the same for anything else. Mail and calendar is another one I actually don't use. Instead I use Chrome or Gmail, so I'm going to uninstall that. And there's a ton more as well, like camera for example. I've got no use for that whatsoever, so that's going to go. And if you try this for yourself, you'll notice there's a ton of applications that are installed on your PC that you don't actually use and you can get rid of, which will in turn benefit you. After that though, if you go into the advanced app settings, then share across devices, I like to go ahead and turn this one off. After doing that, I also like to go to the bottom one, that's startup, and do pretty much the same thing as before, preferably for apps that have high impact. So take Microsoft Edge for example. I actually use Chrome, so I don't want that to be a startup application, so that gets turned off. And as you scroll down, you'll notice there's a few more apps that will literally be the same thing. And another one I don't use is the Microsoft OneDrive, and that's high impact too, so I want to go ahead and turn that off, as I don't even use it to begin with, so why would I want it starting up with my PC? Step 4, inside the settings again, this time under system. Firstly, under notifications, I like to scroll down all the way to the very bottom where you see additional settings, give that a click, and then I also like to uncheck both of these options. Uncheck show the Windows welcome experience after updates, and suggest ways to get the most out of Windows, and finishing up setting this device. Also uncheck this third one as well if you haven't already, as apparently these 3 can give you tiny micro stutters when they do appear. And after doing that, if you go slightly under where it says power, inside here you can make a custom power mode to optimize your PC. Now as you can see right here, I've got it on balanced, but if you click on it, there's 2 options. There's best power efficiency or there's best performance, and I think a lot of you will benefit from setting this onto best performance. Do give it a try though, and if not, just put it back onto balanced if you find that this is better for your PC. It's something you've got to try out. Step 5, if you go back into the settings yet again, this time head into gaming. Under the game bar option, you want to turn off the game bar, as this option right here will significantly lower your FPS, so turn that off. Below that you'll see graphics, then click change default graphics settings, and you'll see the first option here called hardware accelerated GPU scheduling. Now what this does is it reduces the load on your CPU during intensive tasks, and it basically passes it over to your GPU, but that can have a negative impact on your PC's performance, so most people do turn it off for that reason. However, for some people out there that have the latest graphics cards, they actually find it better, so it's one of them. Give it a try, but for most people they turn it off. For the variable refresh rate, you want this on, and then for optimizations for windowed games, you want this off, as you should be playing full screen and not windowed mode. After that, head into captures and turn off all of these settings right here. You do not want to use any of this. And thirdly, in game mode, for this setting I recommend you having it on, as it's handy to have things turned off in the background while you are playing. This time in accessibility, underneath visual effects, I like to select always show the scroll bars, as I just think it's useful in general, but to get a slight FPS boost, I like to also uncheck transparency transparency effects. And you'll notice straight away it gets rid of those transparency effects and gives this sort of dark theme, which not only looks cool, but is quite functional. You can also get rid of animation effects as well to get a slight FPS boost by turning both of these off. After doing that, you can scroll down slightly under hearing and select the captions button, and inside here you can go ahead and turn off captions if you don't use them or need them. Step 6, you want to type in services like so and click the first one, and inside here you basically want to go through and disable all the unnecessary services that you don't use. So a one that I like to get rid of is wallet. So if you press W, it should come up with the wallet service, and this is something that I don't use myself. I don't have the wallet app or anything like that, so I like to go ahead and right click on it, then go into the properties, then into the startup app and just go ahead and disable it, then press apply and OK. Another one, for example, is the Windows Insider service. I've got no sort of intentions of being in it or having it running, so I like to right click on it, go into properties and go ahead and disable this too. Don't forget to apply and press OK. Another thing I like to do is press the Windows key and R, and then type in all three of these commands on screen to clean my temporary files. So for example, if I type in temp as the first one, I've got all of these temporary files. I can go ahead and press Ctrl A, then go ahead and delete them like so. I can do it again with %, temp, %. Same process of Ctrl A and then go ahead and delete them. And the final one is pre-fetch like so. Step 7, you want to go into the settings, go under privacy and security. Then firstly, in general, I like to go ahead and uncheck all of these four right here, as what this does is it prevents Windows from actually tracking some of your data, as well as suggesting pop-ups which can give you slight lag spikes. From there, in the speech section, I like to go ahead and turn off this as I don't use it. Then in the inking and typing personalization, I like to go ahead and turn off this one too as I don't use it. Diagnostics and feedback, another one I like to go ahead and turn off or rather disable. And finally, under app permissions, I like to go through all of these and just go ahead and disable all of them that I don't use. Step 8, I like to type in Windows Update like so and actually check for updates. Then inside here you can go ahead and update your Windows to the latest version. Now this can benefit a lot of people out there, but for some people it can cause issues. So it's one of them where if you are struggling with performance, it might be worth trying to update your Windows. But on the other hand, if everything's okay and your frame rate's good, just stay on your current Windows version. Then scroll down slightly to delivery optimization. I also like to go ahead and turn this option off right here. And that right there has been the best tweaks you should be making inside of Windows to increase your FPS massively. If it helped out, feel free to drop a like on it and subscribe to the channel. And before you go, feel free to check out any of my other videos that'll probably help you out a ton.